Okay, good morning and welcome back. We haven't spoken for quite some time. Maybe I'll diverge a little bit later on why, but things are going well on this side. Okay, for today we're going to make a soap. I'm using some of the oils that I've got left here. I try just to use them up before they get old. So this recipe is not something that I really planned in advance. So I just took little bits and bobs that I had here, and this actually should make it's not really far off my original soap, but what we're going to use here is I've got some calendula infused castor oil that I made for a balm, and haven't used all of it. And yeah, a balm can actually last quite a bit of a time, or so it can stretch a lot. So this is going to get old if I don't use it in soap. So lovely calendula infused castor oil. So I'm going to use this as my castor oil bit. Then I've made some chamomile tea. I love the chamomile tea, so I'm going to use chamomile tea as my water pot here. Then I've got here a mixture of neroli and bergamot essential oil. That I've had this in the cupboard for nearly a year now, so I think this will pair quite nicely with the calendula and the chamomile. So I'm going to use this as my essential oil for fragrance, and then I'm going to color half of it with turmeric, because the yellow will go very nice with both of the other colors as well. Okay, oils that we're going to use, this is going to be a tallow-based soap as usual. Going to use a little bit of coconut oil, and then high oleic sunflower oil. Olive oil is extremely expensive at the moment. The sunflower oil is nearly half the price, and high oleic cold pressed sunflower oil properties are very, very similar to olive oil. So I just decided I'm going to switch it over to there, because soap is just getting ridiculously expensive to make, especially if you use olive oil. So this is one of my cost cutting ways here. And then obviously some castor oil. So there we're going to go there. And yeah, that is and a little bit of citric acid, just to work as a chelator here, because we do have hot water. This is going to be a small batch. It's not going to be a huge bunch of oil here. I'm going to do the heat transfer method today, because I have actually melted all of my oil last night. So the fats and the oils and everything, let me show you on this one. It did solidify, but it is squishy. It is a very soft kind of texture here. So heat transfer should work quite well on this one. Always with heat transfer, you don't really want to use it on extremely cold oils and so on. This is 17 degrees Celsius at the moment, so it's not really hot, but it should be okay. And it's not really hot, so the residual heat from the lye should melt all of them. If it does not, I've got my little burner right next to me, so I can quickly give it a little bit of a heat up. So first things first. Okay, let me just get my gloves and my goggles on here. I'm just going to mix my lye water. So I've measured everything off last night before I went to bed, just so that I can get quickly into all of this. But yeah, let me just get gloved up. Got my goggles. If you've ever tried the yellow glasses, this stuff is amazing. For some reason, I can just see much better through it. They use it on the shooting range. So yeah, I was blessed with a pair of these, and they do really work very nicely. Just want to put my microphone there where I'm not going to bump it. Okay, so let's see. I've got my little teapot with my calendula tea in here. I am going to strain it while weighing it, but I do want to put some of the, just tear this one. Okay, we need how much water? It's going to be 210 grams. So let's just weigh this out. I'm going to take the lid off. Okay. We will get to 10. Okay, I can actually just incorporate all of this here. Where's my spoon? I'm just gonna put the herbs in there as well. This should give it a nice pickled appearance in the soap. I've used it before. I know it's going to make tiny little speckles. Oh, it smells delicious. When I'm done with the soap, I'm going to make myself a cup to drink. It's so sweet and florally. Okay, so now we've got 220. We needed 210. So that extra 10 is not going to make a big issue there. And then we're going to need to add the lye here. I need to try to figure out where to point this camera towards. I think that is going to be the best. Okay. My lye. As I said, I pre-measured it. There's a little bit of citric acid in there as well. The best way usually is to just dissolve your citric acid first, and then to start add your lye a little bit at a time, just a tiny bit for the first addition. Then the citric acid will be neutralized by the lye, and then you can add the rest of your lye quickly, or all at once. But with the first bit of citric acid, it's good to just start with a tiny bit. Otherwise, it happened once to me that everything actually just boiled over. Let's see. This is around about 76 degrees Celsius. I really do hope that it's going to melt my oils here. And I've got a little pieces here, but it will, when I stick blend it, it will break apart. Okay, 86 degrees Celsius. Okay, so the difficult part here is to make sure that all of the lye is dissolved at the bottom. Okay, I'm just going to put this on a piece of cloth. I don't want it to cool down too much. It's starting to clear up a little bit. It's not as milky anymore. It doesn't feel like there's any lye left in the bottom. It should be dissolved by now. Now it's all dissolved. I can just add it here. So I'm just going to add it to my cold oils and fats here. Okay, let's move this a bit closer. Okay, I'm just going to stir it by hand first, just to see if everything is going to melt properly. Okay, there we go. Okay, while it is standing there, melting a little bit of residual heat there, let me just quickly measure out my fragrance oil. Otherwise, I'm going to forget about it. Okay, and we're going to need, I think it was 3%, and it's going to be 22.5 grams. Okay, a tip on pouring your essential oils, use the back of a spoon. How I'm gonna angle this so that you can see what I'm doing, because when you touch the spoon, it's gonna run down the spoon, not down the bottle. I'm just gonna go for 22. Oh, my soul. It's a tiny little drop left. I really hope that I'm going to use it all up. There's at least another 5 grams in there. I don't really just want to add it here. I just want to stay in the safe usage rates. So I'm just going to let it be as it is. Okay, and this, guys, actually melted. So there's no lumps there anymore. Actually mixed through quite nicely. Okay, let me just get these guys out of the way. Okay, I've got my fragrance oil, a little bit of turmeric, some organic turmeric. It actually smells like what turmeric should smell like. Okay, let me just get a mold closer here. The thing with turmeric, I bought some turmeric at Westpac. It's a place in South Africa, and used it in my soap, and the coloring was just off and so on. And eventually, when I read the ingredients list, I realized I actually mix it with corn flour, so it's very diluted. It's not really turmeric. And so I bought this from African Soap Supplies, but they say it's pure organic turmeric. It's not just plain. And I must say the coloring is right. The fragrance is right because I grow my own turmeric, but I'm out of turmeric at the moment. I don't have enough, so I had to buy something in. And this smells like it should smell. Just get my stick blender here. Okay, and I'm gonna stick blend it just a tiny bit. This thing is skew. There. Let go of my glove. Okay, this is definitely emulsified. Very thin trace, but all of the little calendula, not calendula, all the little chamomile flowers is broken up. So I actually wanted to, that was my main intention, yeah. This blender standing up there. There we go. Okay, so this is a lovely creamy consistency, and as you've seen, it's just a few seconds. It's not like we're blending for a minute or 2 minutes or so, depending on your recipe. Some you might, but I think most of the time when we want to do swirls and so on, we tend to just overcomplicate things and we overblend it, and that is why we struggle to get our stuff. Okay, let me just first put the essential oil in here. I'll mix this through a little bit, and then I'll color. I'm going to color 1/2. Okay, the essential oil is actually reacting and making it a little bit darker. I can see something is happening here. Okay, let's just split this up a bit. I think that might be about half, and get some turmeric in here. Turmeric tends to lighten as it ages, so if you start out with quite a dark color and you think, oh, I've added too much, as the soap cures, it will lighten. So don't be too concerned about if it's too dark. And yeah, this is nearly, I think, a teaspoon full of turmeric on. It's just a little bit more, 750 grams of oil in my batch. So this is also by eye. It would have been good if I actually mixed this a little bit with a little bit of oil, just to make sure it's not clumping up. Of course, I see there's one little tiny clump that keeps coming up here. I don't really want to stick blend it, because as you can see, it's going to more to a medium trace here. But it is a lovely color, and it smells so nice. Okay, medium trace. This also is busy setting up to a medium trace. Okay, so let's see what kind of pour we're gonna do here. I've got a weird working angle here. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little bit of this. Put this down the middle. If it starts to set up, just stir it a bit, loosen it up a little bit again. I'm going to pour it right down the middle again. I'm just going to alternate between the two colors. See, it's starting to set up a little bit, just loosen it up a bit. Okay, and I realize somebody is going to ask me what's the temperature. We ended at 40 degrees Celsius, so very nice temperature to pour at and to work at over most of the recipes. I am not sure if it is warm enough to go through gel phase though. We will see what's going to happen here. Okay, the reason why I've been absent for a while, we are between Easter weekend and a session day, and yeah, right in between, one of our good friends passed away. He was diagnosed with skin cancer in his mouth, and I don't think any of us really knew how quickly he's going to go, because we thought there was still time. And I think with this, it passed away just after Easter weekend. And this made me think about a lot of stuff, because we think we have time. We always think we have more time than we actually really do. And we don't really know how much time we have. So I have to decide what I want to do with my life. I don't think I've decided yet. But one of the things that actually I think stood out to me was I'm not secretive about my faith. I love God. I'm a child. Sometimes I'm a good child, sometimes a naughty child. Sometimes I'm a child that's standing in a good relationship, sometimes I'm hiding from my father. I go to different stages and stuff. But so I'm not secretive about my faith, but I don't think I really that much open. I don't really talk much about it. Okay, let me just quickly swirl this. I'm just going to take my spatula and give it a little bit of a twist on this side, a little bit of a twist on that side, and I don't think I'm going to fiddle too much with it. But yeah, with this friend, I don't know what his faith were. The last few days I could see he was really agitated, little bit. He was got to a point where he was so confused that you couldn't really talk to him or reason with him. He was searching. He would sometimes say the word "I'm terrified." So his last few days were not pleasant, not for him, not for the people that had to take care of him. It was really hard on his wife. And I was just thinking, you know what, if I shared more, and I actually, what I'm looking for explanation was going on in my head, and a lot of stuff is running around up here, so I don't know if I can actually really put it into words. But I think if I introduced him to my loving Heavenly Father, and he could have experienced God the way that I experience him every part of the day, or most of the times when I'm not in my own head, messing things around and up, then maybe he would have passed more peacefully. But yeah, that's one of the things that I was just thinking about these days, is we live our lives in compartments. I've got my YouTube channel. I don't really share spiritual stuff on here. It's a soap making channel, and it takes up quite a bit of my time, and I don't know, I don't think the soap making's got any eternal value to it. Not just the soap making. I do help people. I help people to start their own soap making journeys, to set up their businesses and all those kind of things, which is nice. I think it's a good thing to do, but does it really make an internal difference, or eternal difference? Internal difference, internal, nope, eternal. So yeah, I think that is where I'm at the moment. This video, I actually planned something completely different to do. I can actually take this one off now, because we are done mixing and blending and so on. And I actually just decided I'm going to go with the flour and do whatever gonna happen. The recipe happened by itself. This was not the recipe that I actually intended to make, but I think this is going to be a very nice soap. I know from the recipe it's very close to my original. So if you look at the recipe here, back to the soap making part, is what I like about this recipe is if you start with the foam or with the soap and you work it up, it starts with a very light fluffy bubbles. It makes a few big bubbles, then it goes to light fluffy bubbles. Sometimes if you wash your hands very quickly, little bubbles will float into the air, and then it just suddenly turns into this very creamy, luxurious, I don't know, cream kind of thing that I don't want to rinse my hands immediately. So I know this is going to be an awesome soap. It's just the first time that I'm going to add this blend of herbs and the blend of essential oils that I've got in here. So yeah, that's what I am with it. This is where I am at. I know I'm rambling here, so I'm just going to leave you here. I will come back with the cut, and I'm going to keep one of the bars for myself. The other 4 I will put on my website for somebody that's in South Africa that's interested, that really wants to have one of these bars. Then look out for it. It will surface there in 6 weeks time. I think it's going to be a once-off, except if you guys tell me that it's an extremely awesome soap, then I'll maybe make more of them. But I think this is going to be just a once-off one for this video. And yeah, I'm going to leave you with this and whatever. And then I'm going to tell you, you must have a really blessed day. I will see you guys again soon.